All right, it's Thursday, August 31st. This is the end of the day SPY recap, and today we end up last day of the month with another two up day. Has a little bit more of a selling tail than yesterday. Both days are relatively narrow as we kind of grind higher after this big green day. So, we're at exhaustion risk, really. Since this bar, we've been 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 up days in a row. So there's no real actionable signal to the upside other than playing momentum if you want to give it a shot. And in this case, I'll quickly just look at today's price action and then go to some of the bigger picture stuff unfolding. Momentum wise, again, the first bar did start up again, paused, kind of came to the pre-market highs up here. If we kind of show where the pre-market range was between the blue lines, followed through, and kind of like yesterday, you had 1, 2, 3. You had a couple of bars that you could have just made a quick trade. You don't really expect, even out of the gates here, it kind of went up on bar number 2 and 3 and then immediately failed. Here we kind of pulled back orderly, and what I did, I was watching the QQQs on this failure to kind of work up to those highs, knowing what exhaustion risk. I kind of played a short trade in here, and it was kind of a good little scalp trade to kind of make a push down instead. But in terms of the SPY, it also made a push down. It kind of held the close of yesterday, the yellow line, and then had the reversal day, and then we chopped around all day. So if you really look at it, yeah, we're biased up a little bit, but it certainly had one little move to start the day, and that was it. Everything else was inside. And it's just not surprising. This is, not easy to trade in terms of there's no real actionable signal. What's unfolding in the bigger picture, though, we have the weekly chart. Ever since it's 2 up, it broadened out above this target the other day. And now we kind of keep this target in mind as we're, even on the weekly chart, as long as we hold the midpoint of this week, we'll see what happens tomorrow. And then start up on the weekly chart. We're just going to continue to expect that target to be hit until we get some kind of weekly failure. It could be a 2 down week next week. It could be a kind of a move that starts up and then comes back through the midpoint of that week. We don't know. And then the new month is going to start tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. We do have the potential here for a kind of a 2 down reversal signal. I mean, that would kind of project down to here and maybe even fill in this gap to start out the month. So we'll see if that unfolds, but you're kind of going against the continuity of the week if you want to play that pullback. And then the month, even though we have 1 day to go, it looks like we're going to close with a hammer bar. Oh, we did close today. I'm sorry. We closed with a hammer bar. So you're kind of expecting this to kind of continue higher and then work towards that monthly target up here. The question is just, I could see easily pulling back for a couple of days first and then eventually expect some point in September to kind of continue up through those highs and to reach that target. That's what's, might happen starting the first day of the month tomorrow. It might happen after a little pullback. I'd be surprised. We have a lot of support in here, that we get too deep of a pullback before we start up. So obviously the best signals are going to be some kind of pullback in here that kind of fail and then start higher. Then all of a sudden you have the weekly chart holding and it's continuing its 2 up into its next target. The monthly chart is ready to break through and test higher levels as well. And the daily chart, if you can get that 2 down or some kind of a, there could be a 3 reversal, a failure down that heads up and forms a 3 bar, something, that unfolds here early in the month could be good long trading. For now, I guess you're just going to have to go with exhaustion risk. 2 days in a row, you couldn't really follow through strong to start the day, although you kind of were biased to the upside. And if you go, if you come down, I guess we could play that for exhaustion risk, see if we kind of, hit our first target, if we get a kind of a 2 down day and maybe take advantage of that for a little bit to the downside, but knowing that we're still looking for good buy signals. And again, that's why even today, once it failed and everything and it came down, I could have seen it taken out that low. Kind of surprising it didn't. And all of a sudden you have kind of double lows here. So, it makes sense that you'd kind of take that out first along this big move up, maybe kind of get higher highs, some lower lows in here, and then, but at some point get another move up. And the failure, again, to me, is only going to happen somewhere once this weekly chart fails, and we have a ways to go before that happens. So let's see what happens, to start the new month tomorrow. Down seems, that's the expectation, just given this kind of chart, the exhaustion risk, and And, you have some areas to fill in down here, but, the expectations is only going to be as important as, where price opens relative to its pre-market range and everything else. So if we get a pre-market range somewhere in here and we get the first bar down, then we can kind of assume we're getting a little bit of a pullback. So we'll see where price starts the month next month. But, it's been definitely biased to the upside ever since we had the big reversal day in here earlier in the week. So let's see how it goes tomorrow.